My name is Demi Clark, and I breathe fire. Dracarys. Too soon? Too soon? Too soon. No, but really. Okay, so I don't breathe fire, but with it, I make things as a construction expert and welding aficionado. So someone once told me that what you do in the darkness, you bring out in the light. So let me take you into the darkness of welding for a minute so we can light it up. So close your eyes, inhale deeply, and imagine quiet, almost like you're underwater. Nothing but the buzzing sound of electricity and your own thoughts. Intense focus on a singular element, your own breath. Now open your eyes, but picture them with night vision goggles on, almost like Captain Marvel, my favorite. You can see through the dark to your own hands lit up with fire and power as they cut through iron, steel, and metal. Now, if you lose your breath, your focus, you could get hurt or worse, but if you harness it, something beautiful is made. You have to be in control of your own person, your safety, and of the final product. And then, here's your pop quiz. You flip up your hood, the sunlight streams back in, and you're back to the surface. Congratulations, you just felt the surge of power that every welder feels every day. So now if that felt powerful to you, imagine what would happen if we gave more young girls blowtorches. And don't let that scare you just yet. You see, only 1 in 1 million girls has ever picked up a blowtorch to weld. This makes more sense when you hear that only 3% of what we call the true trades are comprised of women. That includes electrical, plumbing, carpentry, HVAC, and yes, welding. Now here's the flip side. When that girl under the age of 12 does pick up a blowtorch, she is 97% more likely to choose a career in STEAM. Even better, studies show that when she picks up that blowtorch, she has more confidence and independence. That means she's in charge of her own person. Now, ladies in the room, in an era where we are consistently questioning how much control we have over our careers, our lifestyle choices, gender, bodies, what could be more important to ignite in young girls, my daughters included? Focus, breath, fire, control. So where do I come in? I'm 45, a child of Title IX and a product of that era. I was lucky enough to have an Army Ranger dad who threw me into the workshop next to my brother at age 5, building Pinewood Derby cars of all things. I never knew my gender was any different in the 1980s. I was lucky for that. What did I do with that? Where did I go with that? I've spent 24 years in a male-dominated construction industry with tremendous male bosses and mentors, by the way. Doing everything from throwing the hammer to sitting in every seat in the business to eventually, yes, running things. My life consisted of #MeToo before #MeToo. Honey and sugar catcalls on the job site were just something you shrugged off. Amplification in the workplace didn't exist. There wasn't another woman on the job site to amplify. And literally clawing, no nails, on the job site to get heard. I literally had to throw back my shoulders at age 23 and take charge of my own person. Nobody else was gonna do it for me. Raising my hand for the dirtiest jobs every single day to prove that I was cleaner, faster, stronger, and better. And you know what? It was addicting. It was powerful. And like a phoenix, dragon, it was breathing fire every day. I was so committed to the idea of girls gaining confidence in construction like I did, that in 2019, I started the nonprofit She Built This City. Yes, she built this city. You got me. Empowering girls to pick up blowtorches, power tools, spray paint cans, seemingly dangerous things. Things we innately teach our sons, but we forget when we look at our daughters. Focus, breath, fire, control. So you may be asking, why do we need more women in trades? Well, I'll tell you about my grandmother, Priscilla Knight Clark. She was amazing. She was a Rosie the Riveter. She was on her way home during early World War II to have the dreaded marriage talk with her father. Yes, Reed, the ultimate in not having control over her own life. She was a fiery, outspoken redhead, surprise, who knew exactly who she was and what she wanted out of life. The ultimate female badass in a time well before Instagram, TikTok, or even the term badassery. So on her way home, she sees a Marine Corps recruiting station. She marches right up and says 2 questions. 1, will you take women? And 2, do I have to wear a skirt? Yes to number 1, no to number 2, her only requirements. She signed up on the spot and off she went to boot camp. One of the first female Marines in World War II, now honored in Arlington National Cemetery. And I loved growing up on the childhood playground and saying, oh, but yes, my grandmother did wear combat boots. But really, she had a voice in a time where women really didn't have voices. Growing up in my life, she was so proud to tell the stories of how over half of American households during the 1940s had a woman who threw back her shoulders, chin up, metal lunch pail in hand, overalls on, and left the house to take on formerly male-populated jobs in trades with a lot of confidence. The men were off to war, right? So it shouldn't take a world tragedy or, God forbid, another world war for women to gain autonomy in this sector again. For society to be comfortable with us in physical, life-threatening, scary jobs that are also demanding. Or is it that when women carry these torches, it gets a little intimidating? I don't know, your call. So again, why do we need more women in trades? Okay, what's the big deal, right? So trade programs in American high schools are all but extinct right now. Less than 5% across the United States actually offer classes to their students. That leaves our infrastructure crumbling. Buildings, roads, bridges taking months, if not years longer to build. And then there's also family-owned, male-run small businesses retiring early. There's not another person in the family to take over for the job. This is in a time where girl bosses and lady bosses are needed everywhere. So focus, breath, fire, control. We still have bias and politics in the trades, pinkwashing hard hats, the need for inclusive work environments, locker rooms to safely change, gear that we can wear, hard hats where locks, braids, ponytails can come out the back. And then there's the terminology. Journeyman plumber, handyman, foreman, doesn't exactly give women an inclusive voice. However, when we do get to sit at the table, pick up the blowtorch and make the decisions, it is powerful and it is indescribable. I have sat and sit in this seat and I want everyone to feel that kind of power because you can change the world with it. So focus, breath, fire, control. Ada was a 7-year-old in my very first planter build as She Built the City. She was terrified of a power drill, and not to mention teeny tiny, maybe 60 pounds wet. She literally did not want to go anywhere near that power drill. I said, you've got this, you can do it, I believe in you, and she reluctantly stepped up to her planter box and drilled in her first screw. It was like a cape grew out of that child and sparks flew. She put her hands on her hips, whipped her head around, and looked at me and said, Miss Demi, give me another one. Fire, sis. My gracious, 7 years old. I knew right then and there that every girl in the world needed to feel that level of confidence and independence and assuredness in herself that Ada did. Every girl. Can you imagine if every 7-year-old girl around the world threw off their comforter in the morning and said, I'm going to take on the world. I've got this. Give me another one. Oh, the things we could do, right? Oh, the things we could do. Access is alive and well for construction and girls in construction at a very early age in the United States. Picking up that spray paint can to draw a mural, a power drill to build a table, or yes, a torch to tack weld a hanger onto her wall. These girls are not in danger. They have to be fully present like we were at the beginning of this talk, fully present with that welding hood down, and they have to be fully in control. fully in control. So I ask you, are you willing to go into the darkness? If you have girls around you, women around you, will you let them experience that scary, that life-threatening, that dangerous? Because she is going to emerge on the other side, empowered, potentially STEAM career, and changing the way that we manufacture and finish the trades in the United States in the next era. That phoenix dragon is laying dormant under the surface. She is so ready to come to the light. United we spark. Thank you.